Welcome back to Book Bree and Novel Nest. I'm Bree, your neighborhood romance girly, and today we're doing Romances You May Not Know About, Part 2. Since y'all love the first one so much, we had to make a Part 2. Feel free to let me know what other videos you would like to see. Thank you so much for the love on that video. If you haven't seen it, I'll link it above here. Oh, and since we're friends here, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe so we can talk about all things romance. I'd be glad to talk to you. Ooh, y'all, I got some Christmas cookies here. Y'all want one? I got jam kolaskis, okay? This one's apricot. This one's raspberry. Okay. Oh, you don't like apricot? That's okay, I'll eat it. Yeah, that's good. And these delicious gingerbread cookies made for my sister, Novel Nest. Y'all, these are really good. Excellent. Yes, chef. Yes, chef. First up, we have Guinevere and Arthur, better known as Gwen and Arthur from Merlin. And this is played by Angel Colby and Bradley James. Now, if you are a UK girly, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, this is Merlin, BBC, this spectacular series. But if you don't know anything about Merlin, I'm gonna clue you in on this amazing show and amazing romance. And this telling Prince Arthur, this is before he's King Arthur, in his younger days, is known to be heir to the throne. He's acquainted to all who one day will be the former legend of Camelot, including Lancelot, Guinevere, Morgana. And then Merlin is forced to deal with King Uther. So for Merlin, this isn't great because Merlin is very magical. The kingdom is banning magic. We got some problems.
You in danger, girl.
There's not too many shows I can look back on and rewatch and be like, this is so much fun. It feels like you're part of the story. It's inviting, it's welcoming. It feels like a warm hug when you watch it. Now, can it be scary at some points? Yes, but you're in for the, the whimsical fantasy, and then they also draw you in with this amazing, legendary romance. If I had a test for slow burn romance, and Gwen and Arthur, they took that, they would ace it. Longing looks to one another, check. Dramatic, beautiful scores for music in the back for them, check. Just admiring each other's presence on screen, check. Like, these are all the things we want. Like, if there's like a small handhold or hand touch, okay, that you want the audience going like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe.
Yes! Yes, I win! Finally!
Like, that's actually how I watch, okay? I'm gonna be honest. If I'm watching something and I'm rooting for a couple and I'm like, especially if they're giving a longing look and someone is like, oh, does he have to go out to face this battle of this dragon? And they're like, well, yes, he does. And then you're like, oh no. And
staying positive, but I'm pretty sure this is where we die.
And then they maybe give like a hug or a hand touch to one another to, reassure that it's gonna be okay. And you're just watching like this. Oh my gosh! Like, this is everything. This is everything. And the people around you are just like, what is going on? Like, it's not that serious. And like, to me, it is that serious. Their chemistry is...
You guys are gonna say the first word that pops into your head, okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Spectacular. Picturesque. Breathtaking. There are so many words to describe. When you see this performance, you're like, oh, okay, I get it. I get why the UK girlies, yeah, I get it.
Thank you and kind regards.
So if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. It's funny, out of all the words that I had, for this fantasy to describe this romance, and not once did I say magical. That's unfortunate. Since we talked about a legendary romance, let's talk about a romance that not only takes place in the past, but also in the future, and maybe the present. What? So we're talking about Ezra and Hallett from Midnight at the Pearl Palace on Netflix. And this is played by, and correct me if I'm wrong, okay, on this pronunciation, please feel free to let me know.
Please accept my apology.
Hazel Kaya and Sehatin Pasali. So how does this romance happen? I'm gonna tell you about the premise and then we'll get right into the romance. Don't you worry. At a historic Istanbul hotel, a journalist is thrust into the past and must stop a plot from unfolding that could change the fate of modern Turkey. The number one thing in time travel that I know from all the fantasies that I've watched is to not mess with time. But what if I find somebody fine? Okay, like...
Sometimes I'll start a sentence and I don't even know where it's going. I just hope I find it along the way.
You're trying to save lives and make sure the timeline is right, and you see this really cute guy and you're like, okay, what do I do now? I cannot give him my Instagram handle. If he finds that out, he will either pass out or never talk to me again because he doesn't know what that is. The mystery is really good. All the characters are excellent. The storylines are really intriguing, and you don't know what's coming up next. Like, they will throw you a curveball like almost every like 30 minutes, and you're just like, I'm just trying to keep up. But they actually make it easy to keep up with, so that way you're not too confused. That is very hard to do, okay? Because when I watched Inception, y'all, I had to use note cards. Note cards, because I was trying to figure out which thing I'm in. Is it dream number 1, dream number 2? I can't keep up, and I probably have to watch it again to figure this thing out. And then Ezra and Hallett. Let me tell you something. Mr. Hallett knows how to make everyone swoon.
I wonder I didn't think of him before.
If you thought Jonathan Bailey playing Fiyero made everyone swoon, you also have Mr. Hallett here, okay? That can make everyone swoon, because every time Mr. Hallett, he on screen, here's Ezra.
Yes! Oh, yes! I absolutely accept.
I have to think about what's going on and you know what's up next in this mystery, and I'm trying to figure out all these clues. But like for a couple seconds there, she's just like, what am I supposed to be doing? And then same thing for Hallett. He'd be seeing Ezra and he's like, dang, this girl's fine. And he's like, wait, what was I doing? What was I doing? Because I'm pretty sure that I went someplace and I had to do something, and now I'm just mesmerized by this woman. And that is what I love in a romance. Love to see it. When the love interest is just mesmerized by the other person. You're enamored and you're kind of like blushing and giggling, and you're just like, you're so happy and like bubbly. And
oh my gosh, it's happening.
You're gonna love. If you haven't seen Midnight at the Pearl Palace, what are you waiting for? Actually, wait on that, watch the rest of this, and then go watch it. Feel free to place in the comments down below, what are some of your favorite couples that you think people don't know a lot about? Feel free to place them in the comments down below, because we love to share here. The more romance, the better.
She's got a point.
A couple to make you laugh would be Rose and Miles from the Golden Girls. And if you don't know the Golden Girls, you may know the song. Thank you for being a friend. Dun, 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 dun. Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant. The premise of this show is we have 4 women, which is Dorothy, and then also Dorothy's mom, Sophia, Blanche and Rose. They all live in this house together in Miami. A lot of their kids have moved away, and some of the, I believe Blanche and Rose's husbands have passed away, and Dorothy has been recently divorced. So they're like, okay, it's better that we can like kind of depend on and work together instead of like living alone. So they all live together in this house in Miami.
At least we're together. We have each other.
And then later on, that Rose starts dating, and kind of down the road in this sitcom, Miles comes about. And when I tell you, Miles is like the sweetest guy ever. Because Rose in the show, she's very youthful and free-spirited. Sometimes she's not always in on the joke. Sometimes the joke's on her. She might not even know about it, but she's very giving and sweet. And she also is very fierce. There's some times where, like, if you're messing with Rose, you mess with the wrong person.
I'm too competitive when it comes to athletics.
He just really listens. Like, he just takes the time to listen to Rose and whatever that she's going through. He's always there for her. Rose is always there for him. And their relationship is so, like, comforting and, like, sweet. Like, I'm like, dang, Miles and Rose. If you like an everyday relationship that's like really realistic and tangible to our everyday lives, then you're gonna love Rose and Miles. They're just filled with so much cheer and happiness, but also dealing with the ups and downs of everyday life and family and friends and you know, all that's going on. They do make time to make each other feel special and seen. And that's what I love about Rose and Miles. And did I mention incredibly hilarious? Because Rose is played by the awesome, talented, beautiful Betty White.
She's an icon. She's a legend.
And then Miles is played by Harold Gold. So they I gotta say, like, if the romance like of the 80s and I had to pick one, okay, I had to pick Rose and Miles. Since we traveled to the 80s with Rose and Miles, let's travel to the 90s with Toby and Sal from Jersey Girl from 1992.
Hello, here you are.
This is the 1992 Jersey Girl. Toby is played by Jamie Gertz, and then we have Sal being played by Dylan McDermott, the one and only Dylan McDermott. So Toby is living her life, and one day she was like, I want to change things up. So she decides to go to a Mercedes dealership. When she walks in there, she's like, look, she sees all these guys and she's like, maybe I shouldn't have done this. I want to go home. As she's going to the parking lot, she sees this guy. Yes, Dylan McDermott, that's playing Sal, and she's like, this guy is like really cute. And she's trying to talk to him. She gets nervous and she's like, you know what, forget it. But you know, there's like some times where you're like, maybe I should just take that chance. And so I don't advise this. Like, please do not do this, okay? But this is the 90s, and some of the storylines and things, I would consider, yeah, be problematic, and you should not do them.
We're doing too much brainstorming and not enough good old-fashioned remembering.
She decides to drive after him, and then she's trying to talk to him, and they get in a fender bender. It hurts his brand new Mercedes.
Again, weird take on a very loving relationship.
So they work up a plan where she's trying to pay him back. But while she's paying him back, they also, you know, form this friendship, and then the story goes from there. I love how this chemistry pairing feels very like in the moment. Like every time they are on screen, they're not thinking about, okay, this is what, you know, the next thing that we're gonna do or the next dialogue that, you know, we're going to say. They really connect, and that really makes a difference when you're watching a film, especially when like you see people waiting for their line. They're like, this. And you're like, what is going on? Like, this should be like a natural conversation, but they actually, yeah, again, they're taking the time, like similar to an everyday relationship, a little bit more real and tangible to our real everyday life. So there's some things about the script that I would change up to update it now. Yes, because some of the things in there, you're like, was that a little misogynistic, or was that a little bit problematic? Yes, so there's some things that I would definitely change from the 90s.
Oh, I understand, thank you.
In that script, but it's honest, it's real, and it makes you realize being who you are and being authentic, you know, staying true to yourself, that is being mindful, cutesy, and demure. And this is incredibly hard to find. Feel free to let me know, and I will try to link where the DVD is.
I knew it.
And last but not least, one of my faves, Heaven and Jake from Samurai Girl. And this was played by Jamie Chung and Brendan Furr. When I tell you that, I think this came out 2008, I always made sure to have my homework done Okay, everything done so I can watch this show. After a sheltered upbringing as the adopted daughter of one of Japan's most powerful clans, 19-year-old Heaven embarks on a dangerous journey to learn the truth about her family and her own destiny. Action and romance? I was there, I was locked in. Jake trains Heaven to be a samurai, and at first, things are not going so well. This is why I love a training montage, because at first, like, the training person's like, oh, they can't do it. And the trainee's like, I'm doing the best that I can, okay?
I'm under so much pressure. I just can't even.
The fighting sequences, the choreography, the romance. Y'all, when like, you know, when they're like fighting in training and choreography and things, and then they get up close, you're like, is something gonna happen? Is something gonna happen? You're like, oh, this is, and then they're like, oh, training is over for today. Practice ended a little bit early today, and I wonder why.
I beg your pardon?
Eventually, yeah, over time that she gets better. And does she get better than him? You know it. But I love their chemistry. Again, I love the banter. I like how they get to train together, so they get stronger together. They're fighting for each other. And then there's this one scene, y'all, I'm not gonna spoil it, but you'll see like a motorcycle sequence. And when it happens, let me know, because if you watch it, come on back and tell me everything about it, because I was like, what? And the show was good. I'm gonna have to watch it again. Oh my goodness, y'all. Thank you so much. We are now at 121 subscribers. We're on our road to 200. So if you haven't subscribed yet, feel free to, because we're all friends here.
Your heart is true, you're a pal and a confidant.
And I hope you have a comfy and cozy rest of your day. Bye.